From the graphic novel series that Mike Barron calls outstanding and completely original, comes the very first Lucent Premium trading card set, showcasing characters from the book, printed on the thickest stock possible and finished in high-gloss cello laminate. The set of 9 base cards, comprised of 3 separate triptychs, is a must for fans and collectors. And if that's not enough, 1 in 3 and 1 in 10 sets will also randomly receive an additional rare or ultra-rare holographic chase card. Plus, the back of each card features an original canon mini-comic, so you really don't want to miss out. Available only at thelucentcomic.com.
Are you ready? Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Phenomenal.
You can get it riding, you can get it sliding, you can feel it coming on about 4. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own. It could be that great chalk and biscuit coating.
So hard to have a gay time on your own.
It could be that smooth toffee ice cream in the center. Or that whole delicious golden gay time taste.
Hard to have a gay time on your own.
Street.
I'm Danny, and I'm here to call out all you crack pack bitches. You think I don't see you there? I'm the OG of this shit. But you come after the king, you better come correct. I'm Danny, motherfucker. Who are you? Crack pack. You smoke crack. You better watch your back.
Welcome everybody to the. Why do I feel I'm low today? Pump myself up a bit here. What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a very good night. You're late, says Dwight. Drop and give me 20. I will not. But I am a bit late. What happened there? Only a minute, actually. A few little intros there. Hope you're all doing well tonight. We're going to have Will on later. Will Perdomo. To chat about his new Meathead book that he's been working with Jason Krager for a long time, I think. Going back a while. We're going to find out about it. It looks pretty sweet. It's got a cool Rob Willis cover. It's going to be dropping the... we're going to find out about what it's all about. They're going to drop in the mailing list. So hopefully you'll be interested in that. But before we do that, what else do we have? We got the auction is ending in a paltry 25 minutes. Mark's Music Obsession holding on with dear life. Jason, there it is. I know. I did some investigation, Gary. I don't know why, because he always just writes J, and it throws me. It gets inside my head, and it makes me think, why wouldn't he just write Jason? Why? Anyway, maybe he'll come on tonight to explain himself. We'll find out. That'll be in the last half of the show. In this half of the show, I want to chat about a tweet I saw a very good friend, Mr. Dave Brink, post, because I think I have an answer. Not that I have a solution, but I do have an answer at the very least. Before any of that, let us stand on tradition and honor. Speaking of Mark, he came in first again, which means he is well and truly far and away on the leaderboard at the moment. He's got 12. Maromi thought he got it, but you didn't get it, my friend. Not this time. But great to see you nonetheless. Bretsky the Great is here. Mr. Mo Biggs, the Golden Wrench. His solution for selling comics on YouTube is simple. AI titties plus Kickstarter minus dignity. We'll see if that's what the chat agrees with you on that one, Mo. But interesting thoughts there. There's Dwight, present and accounted for. We've got ink spots in the house. Jav Style is here. Lady Ali. This Meathead book is bringing all the people out. Great to see. Death Metal Hero says, what's up, Bancroft? I can hear you say that in your voice when you type that. Tassus Jones representing for Rumble. What's up, the Rumble gang? Got a few watching over there. Great to see as always. Got Blade is here. Who else? Who else do I spy? K Manifesto. Ronan. He says, finally, the reason I subscribed. I thought, oh, cool. No, he was talking about Mo. Sell yourself, be warned. Tonight, Bancroft will be going to the seedy details of his stay in Thailand. There were no seedy details. You know that, Mo. You're selling fake news to people who are expecting a story, and they're not going to get any. We've got Wolf and Bear in the house. We've got Shadow Punk. We've got Jim Alaska. Hello, hello, hello. Great to see you all. Mo says, the minute between scheduled start time and the time Bancroft can be asked to actually start the show is what Bancroft calls his personal golden gamer. No, I was actually scrambling to set up the new eBay because I was totally forgot to do that. So obviously when the eBay ends, a new one begins. Metal Movies and Brewskis is here. All the metalers are here. Great to see. Hello, Critical Reads. Hello, Sumo Thori. What is up tonight? Of course, where is it? Where is it? That is the piece in question. I have it right here. As Gary G pointed out to me on Twitter, because I said that there's a lot of bids on this one, up to 36, $315 dues on the cusp of $200 bucks, which is very impressive. Thank you very much. Gary G pointed out, well, this is the only piece that represents two cards. I thought, yeah, you are correct. Because the other week I said, oh, there's two characters in this one. And then I realized, no, there's two characters on James and Amita. There's two characters on Jude and Amber. But this one actually represents two cards. So you get the original art for two cards in one. And that will be ending in 20 minutes. And when that ends, this one here shall begin. So let's look forward to that. Marumi says, I'm here for the OnlyFans tutorial. You will not get it. Sumo says, Zaid Raid incoming, by the way. Did we find out what Louis' sign was? I'm guessing it's street sign. I didn't think he understood the question. So, and everyone else agreed with me. Hope you all enjoyed the Diaz Brothers show, even if it is still going on. All right, let's get to this thing because we've only got 20 or so minutes. I want to hear what you guys think about it. I haven't done a topic in a long time. A very long, definitely stop sign. I know, right? Is this ASL? Kind of, Dale. Kind of it is. All right, what did Dave say? He said, my comics always get good reviews. Readers online seem to really like them. I can attest to that. A lot of people love oh, God, I'm a Perfect 10. I thought I would forget the name of this comic for a second there. A lot of people love Perfect 10. The first time I heard someone really rave about it was Kimosabi. He said it was the best superhero comic he'd read in the indies, which was massive because he is not easily impressed. He says his output is frequent, fulfillment, always on time. I never get into online drama. I've seen you get a little on Twitter, Dave. We all have. Sometimes you get dragged into it. I try to be approachable and friendly. That's true. I offer my humble YouTube platform to help other creators get some eyes on their own campaigns. I've been doing this for 10 years now, always struggling and grinding, still hoping to one day reach that milestone of 20K on a campaign. I wonder if it will ever happen. What am I doing wrong? And I originally wrote out a whole thing, and then at the end of it, I summed everything up, and I was just like, I deleted everything and just gave him the summation. Mo says, Dave gets into online drama by never returning my hail until I emotionally blackmail him. Gary G enjoys Perfect 10. Tassus Jones, Faux Peasy, saying hi to Tassus Jones over on Rumble. Some of these guys don't even realize they're being off-putting. That is true. I don't think that's Dave, though. Anyway, I just said to Dave, I'd say what you're missing is you aren't marketing yourself as a creator. That was the way I ended. I wrote a whole novel for him, and that's how I ended it. And I said, that's all I need to say. And he's like, oh, I hear you. I'm not really sure how to do that. And that's why I say I have the answer, but I don't have the solution. Because if you look at everyone and you can go through all the biggest successes who are doing it, and I know he didn't really specify YouTube, but I'm just going to take it like that because there are other ways, obviously, to do it. You know, be like just some kind of god of art like Kenneth Roquefort, or be the best comic book writer working today like Mark Miller. But I'm going to guess that most people who want an answer to this kind of question aren't going to be those people. So here goes Bancroft, creator-splaining again. Always. I haven't done it in a while, Suma. Back into the spirit of it. Mo says, my pitch to Dave was to a show where he should invite creators on, ask them questions, became more and more uncomfortable, and if they didn't rage quit, they would get to promote their book. That sounds like something. Tessa says, maybe Dave Brink has to up his self-promotion. I'm barely aware. Listen to this, Dave. I'm barely aware of him, much less any books he puts out. And Dave does promote his Perfect 10 art and comics all the time. I see them on Twitter, but I'm following him on Twitter. Let's see how many people he's got following him. I think it's about 3,000 people, which is good, pretty good. You don't really start to see the benefits of Twitter until you get to about above 5,000. That's what I noticed. Getting there is a grind, though. So yeah, I have an answer, but I don't have the solution, because I said to him pretty much, yeah, it's different. Everyone is different, so every way to approach this is be different. It's going to be different. But I've heard this many times from salesmen who say, you got to sell yourself. You got to sell yourself first before you can sell whatever the hell is you're selling. Because if they don't believe you, they're not going to accept what you do. Does he do Kickstarter? Dave does everything that you should be doing. He makes a book that everyone loves. He puts it out on time. He promotes it on social media. He's got a YouTube channel. He puts it up on these platforms. But yeah, and he does very well. Like I said, he's hyping for 20K. So he makes over 10K. But he's like, I see people out there achieving such great heights, tens of thousands of dollars on every campaign, hundreds and hundreds of people. It's like, I want that for myself. And I totally understand that. There's the Zaid raid. What's up, Zaiders? Thank you very much for being here. Always love to get the raid from the Zaids. Phil says, sell myself. I'm Eric, 36. Pretty decent, moderately cool, likes nerdy things. Yeah, without going too much into like a lot of people sort of say pretty much kind of the same thing. Although a lot of them say, I'm going to DM you about it. I think Alex says pretty much, nails it on the head as well. Would you pay $50 for a random manga of average or above average quality Or would you buy the same manga if your favorite person in the world crafted it and offered it for sale? And they kind of go into it. And he says pretty much essentially the same thing. It's a boutique industry. The book needs to hit certain standards. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, this post is actually pretty good. I might just read this. But then, even then, many fans only spend cash on books from creators they really like. And I think that's the difference that Dave is sort of asking about. Because, yeah, people who like comics, and especially like indies, who like superhero comics, like his stuff and they buy it. But he's wondering, how do you get to the next level? Mo says, that's a loaded question. Why is it got to be a manga? I don't know. It just does. Tessa says, okay, just started following him on Twitter. Hey, I'm all for On Time Books. I haven't read his stuff yet, but I've got it on order. So I'm waiting for the next ones to come out. I'm getting a whole big bunch of them. But like I said, people really like it. Now we have to be likable. Not necessarily. No, you don't necessarily have to be likable. Like I said, everyone's different. Do it your own way. And everyone is kind of doing it their own way. We can kind of go through them. But the difference is the people who are really making big numbers have a name. And they use that name kind of like a brand. So the question is, how do you build that name? Well, that's the secret sauce. What does he say? But even then, many fans only spend their cash on books from creators they like, which tends to mean creators that really entertain them and or hang out with other creators that entertain them. Conversely, they'll often refuse to buy books or even books they previously enjoyed if they don't like a creator or they hang out with people they dislike. That's the downside of it. If you do sell yourself as the creator, as an engine to get people to back your book, if for whatever reason people stop liking you or you kind of change or whatever, then yeah, people might not want to buy your stuff anymore. That's sort of like the downside to it. I've seen that happen. I understand Dave's conundrum. It is difficult, especially starting from scratch. I know I started from scratch. I know most people do. Some people come, from the mainstream and have a bit of a big name for themselves. I mean, they started from scratch originally, but I'm talking about when you want to crowdfund and stuff. I happen to buy books even from people I don't like, albeit perhaps a bit less often and more cheaply. I strive to avoid guilt by association. If I could afford it, I'd buy damn near everything, but this isn't the norm. And he goes into saturation and stuff. Yeah. It's a good little thread. And I think everyone is sort of right. And I do have a little bit of experience in this. Are you selling yourself on the dogs? When I say sell yourself as a creator, and I got one of the best pieces of advices I got in this whole thing, I was chatting with Shantan Jetty. And he said, I didn't really think about it like this because I've just been doing it organically, with the YouTube and everything. He said, you've actually built up a brand called Bancroft. Like, that's you. That's how people know you. And a lot of people do call me Bancroft, even though in my day-to-day life, no one calls me Bancroft. Online, on YouTube, I'm known as Bancroft. And there was, there's been the Bancroft bump, the bogan, the blouse, all these things over the years, all these memes have sort of built up this creator persona. Miguel, exactly, Moromi. And he says, I don't care about whether they are likable. Some people do care about that. Some people don't. Who started calling you Bancroft all the time? Was it you, Mo? Do I owe you royalties? No, look, some people are very they're confrontational. Other people are a bit crazy. Other people are very likable. I don't know. Some people hate. I don't know. There's tons of different ways of doing it. But you notice something about him. So Ethan, big name. Shane's built his mange persona, and he plays this character, and he's doing amazingly well. Eric July, he's built up this whole brand around himself, the Ripper, Ripperverse brand. And they're obviously the biggest names, but it goes all the way, all the way down to kind of what I guess you would call mid-level guys who do make above 20K up to about, I don't know, 100 or something. A lot of them are going to be ex-pros. That's their name. That's their brand. But there are others, I don't know, such as myself, I feel. Camel says, I branded my pinky ring. Camel has this brand, this persona, this kind of, thing that he's got. Jake says, the value of art is its context. A creator with personality and lore can be that context that gives it value. I typed out this tweet that, to me, I thought it was kind of self-evident, but I guess it isn't to everyone. But I thought back and I'm like, when you go back throughout anything, music, they would have rock stars. In movies, they have movie stars. We need to attach a big name to this movie to make sure it makes a lot of money. And I'm not talking about whether this makes the comic good or anything like that. But if you're asking the question, like, how do I elevate from, my $5,000 to $10,000 campaigns to 20,000? I think that's part of it, is all I'm really saying here, is that somehow you need to figure out how to become an entity out there that people want to invest in, like a person. And again, I don't know. I kind of fell into it, and I'm not speaking as an expert on this by any means. There's people who are a million times bigger and better than I am. But it is something to think about when you are asking, how do I market and sell my comic? If you only ever just focus on the comics, as someone who has made big efforts to try and promote indie comics, trust me, it is a hard, long, disappointing road if you're only going to try and push the comic side of it, because you're going to find that almost no one cares. And you're going to find that audience out there. It is incredibly difficult. Ask anyone who's a creator in the indie space how difficult it is to get people to care about your comic and your story and your art. And even those guys who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars have the exact same problem. You'll hear them say it. Please, you back the book? Read it, please. So yeah, but I think that's what the kind of the crux I'm getting at here for Dave's question. And Dave is sort of a soft-spoken guy. He's he probably is an introvert. His channel isn't, this, he says it himself, it's a humble channel. So maybe it isn't YouTube for him that's going to allow him to build his persona or whatever that people want to back, his sell himself. I don't know. Again, I'm not bringing any solutions. I'm just sort of pointing out, I think this is an important answer. How long and hard and disappointing, and that sells. Is Image Comics a good idea for distribution, says Matthew Creek? I think so, if you can get published by Image Comics. I don't know if it's a good money spinner. At least it wasn't when I first got into the indie game. I met Dan Frager, and he told me that he had an Image comic book and they didn't make a lot of money. That's what I remember, but they sold a lot of books. And that's a whole nother side of it as well. Yeah, that's a way you can definitely build a name for yourself as a creator. Like, we know that, like, I know these guys like Mark Miller, Daniel Warren Johnson, Jeff Johns, who else? There's a ton of them, obviously, who are doing really well in creator-owned indies right now. Some of them have big names from previous careers in mainstream comics. Some of them step in and out, and they've built it up through more traditional publishing. So yeah, I'm not saying like you only go through YouTube. I think actually YouTube isn't fantastic for everyone, because if you don't have a personality where you can, just like accept that people are going to come into the chat and completely make fun of you the whole time, then yeah. Remender, there's another one. Get Dave Brink making shorts. I don't know if shorts is the answer for everyone. We're making the shorts. The shorts are doing well for a lot of us in terms of building that audience. And again, well, just like the other day, I was chatting to Jake. I started doing these shorts about my art, and all of a sudden, the sub numbers, say for instance, how many subs you get, say, per 1,000 views or whatever, like they're way higher when it's about my art. And he's like, yeah, dummy, of course. If it's about you, the people are going to be more interested to sub to see you. Whereas if you're talking about someone else's stuff, then they might just watch it and move on. I was like, oh yeah, that's so true. So like, I'm learning this stuff as well. I don't want to say everyone needs to go out and have a big YouTube channel. That's just not going to work. Obviously, not everyone has the personality for that all the time. Whatever. Death Metal Hero says the indie comic space is the most exciting it's been in decades. Seriously, there's so much good stuff being made now. There's too much good stuff to read, dude. It's crazy. My list grows and I can never get to it. Camel says, I used to have a personality. Now I'm just weird. Well, weird is a personality. It's something. People know who you are, Camel. You built that. Ali says, artists are so lucky. I know. There's nothing. I mean, if there was a way for writers to, do this other than just do YouTube videos about how to write women or something, yeah, it's like it's tough out there. I feel bad for you guys. This is ending in a minute. Sitting at $315 reduced. How about that, Rob? Look at him sneaking in here. Bancroft's done well without a personality. Yeah. Like, I'm a pretty just quiet, run-of-the-mill, boring guy. Like, I don't want to do a big character or anything. Shane is doing amazing with his mange. He's, really selling it and getting a lot of attention through that. But that's not everyone should be doing that. Mark is hanging on. 55 seconds. And when this one ends, the next one starts. And let's bring Will on. We'll chat about the Meathead. Jake has a good point. The problem is there aren't enough mediocre books competing out there. Oh, there are. Ali says Bancroft's accent does the heavy lifting. You got to work with what you have. Rick is in the house. Says artists are so overworked and have such hard lives. Yeah, it ain't fair and it ain't easy. But like someone mentioned in that tweet thread, it was Alex, how oversaturated this market is and how hard it is to compete. How many auctions are you doing? I think it's 10, 12 seconds left. Oh, it's gone up. 330. I don't know if that's 340. In come the snipers. And sold for 200. And Mark did get it for $214.78 of the US dollar bucks. Congratulations, Mark. This is yours. I will send. I got more MDF board that I need. I cut that up for you earlier, so I'll be putting that in a mailer for you later. I don't know if I'll be able to send it out on Monday because the thing is closed. But excellent. I'm so happy that you got it. Mark had someone tried to take it off him. Mark has had that in his sights all week, so that's very good. Definitely want it signed. I will sign it. Yes, I'll usually what I've been doing so far is I'm signing it on the front and then naming it and dating it on the back. Congratulations to Mark, which means this one should be live now. Let's have a look. There it is, 99 cents already. We got a couple of bids on it. Let me put the link for that in the chat. If anyone wants a nice tree art, we can see here featured Artemis under his tree, a broken man. Will he be able to rebuild his life back up? Find out by reading the Lucent. Here's some pictures there. There you go. Enjoy. All right, we can check back in on that throughout the time. Nice brushwork, if that's brush. Otherwise, nice fake brushwork. It was pen. It's all pen. I'm not good enough like you guys to use brushes. I like this setup. Not sure what you're talking about there. It would make a good video. What would? What's Mo talking about? Not quite sure. Anyway, does he have an apple? Does an apple hit his head? No. But if you read Paint to Death, you'll know that is the tree where he did try to attempt to unalive himself and came head to head with a strange new power that made him unable to do so. Rob says, yes, let me get my wallet out for a man crying under a tree. Look, each to their own, Rob. It's a very diverse range of art. There's the card there. I did have to cut out most of the tree, otherwise he'd be too tiny on it. But very important character to the story. So I will swap these up after the show. So how many we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it was 10 all up. So they should, I've timed it, they should close out when the campaign closes out. So man in the camo hat making a video of himself selling his comic out of the trunk of his car in front of his local thrift store would make a good video. All right, a bit more context. I mean, I like the setup of your auction. Very cool. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, this idea just came to me, Joe, just out of the ether. Make a bonus connecting tree card for the winner. Actually could do that. That's funny. Look at this. Eric Canetti in the house. I'm here to learn how to sell comics. Well, we're just moving on. I'm going to send the I already just a little brief. You've already done it, Eric. You're there. You're a known entity. Everyone knows you. Everyone loves you. My only advice to you would be keep doing what you're doing, because I'm loving all the art you're sharing. Although do YouTube more just because we like seeing you. That's all. I checked into the Ink Pulp this week and I didn't see you on there. I was disappointed. But thank you very much for the $10. Keep up the amazing work. Rick Saylor for 5. Reaper Destroy, best indie book you'll ever lay your hands on. And Smo, that is true. And Joe is coming on tomorrow. We're going to do the closeout live here tomorrow. It's going to be fun. And thank you for the super chat, Rick. All right, let me send the link to our friend, and we'll get him on here. We'll see what this book is all about. I don't even have a link to a page or anything. Or is it? There it is. All right. Will has the link. He can pop in. He can show me how to sell comics. Be genuine, build an audience, inform the audience, make purchases as simple as possible. Do everything you possibly can to make it as easy and good value and everything. And on top of that, somehow figure out how to convince people to invest in you. Would you agree with that, Will? He's like, I have no idea. I just
no idea. Not at all.
Yeah. Totally agree. Says, get in there.
Before we start, I want to apologize if you hear any baby in the background. There's not much I can do.
It's all right. We all have kids, or most of us do. So
she's 2 years old and insane. So
that's a great age, though. It's fun. You do miss it. Is she your first, or do you have others?
She's my only, yeah. But it's like trying to sell comics with a honey badger trying to get out of his fortress. You know,
it is like that. I don't have any page or anything. So if you've got a link, or
I sent you the mailing list link when you want to drop it. All
right. Well, let me check it out first.
Go right ahead. Well, I'll get started. What's kind of fun about this is it's sort of like a full circle thing, because before Bancroft was Bancroft, I would run into him 4 years ago all the time, and we we were buddies. We were buddies then, and then you became Bancroft. All of a sudden you were
Wow.
just a helmet. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, I don't know if I became. Maybe that's kind of what I was actually talking about earlier. Was like building a brand and becoming a thing, and like trying to build an audience and create everything. I mean, that's how it kind of is, though. When you just sort of you go through life and you're at the place, and then you go somewhere else, and then. But I mean, hopefully, I don't know if that's how I would interpret it, but I'm glad you. And man, seeing this book. What you've been doing with Jason, and
I have a lot to show everyone tonight, so
it looks pretty crazy. So how do you want to do it? Do you want to just like let's show it and get on with it, or what do you want to do?
Should we just drop it in the beginning and then talk about what we have to do, or how do you want to go about it?
We're here to talk about this because I'm really interested in this,
all right,
and I don't really know what it's all about. So let's do it. Let's just show it. Let me I feel like we should.
Hey everyone, and there's a lot of people in the chat that I see on Frager's channel that I saw on mine and Krager's channel, and they're all here. So, and Mo Biggs, the only man who's just successfully trolled me on the internet, he's here.
He does that.
He caught me on a bad night, and he successfully trolled me.
All right.
So it'll never happen again.
All right. Well, let's play this video. Here we go.
Who's ready? Bowling!
Mom, make Dad tell the story right.
That's what really happened.
Hold on,
there we go.
1 second.
All right. Well, I will look at it now. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you all. Ali says, I promise Meathead is cool as hell, and my story is low-key the best part. All right. It sounds like I have a lot to know what this is about. There's the cool people attached to it. I'm going to pin the message, pin the chat. I have pinned the link to. Now, what we're looking at here is the mailing list page for Meathead. And I'm coming into this 100% blind. All I know about this is what you've shared on Twitter. So
yes, sir.
Let's, I mean, first of all, that's rad. Is this Jason's
Christian
art
Rossi?
here?
That's
Christian Rossi.
I apologize, guys. Sorry, this is throwing me off.
We know Christian. He's been around. You can go there. You can enter your email address. Meathead will mark you for life. Let me have a look here. So what do we got? We've got some. That's Jason's art. I know that. This is both Jason's art.
Well, that's a good question. Rick Saylor's asking. Does this have the same delivery time as Black Flag? No. I have been putting up the capital for this to do half the book so far and get started on the supplemental for it as well. So what you're seeing here is a mailing list for the preview book, which is going to be 20 to 25 pages. And it's going to have 20 pages of the actual book and 1 page from the supplemental of the main campaign. So you kind of get a proof of concept here.
Right. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people have been doing that recently, putting out the preview book, help to fund the main thing. So this one will be a black and white book?
Yes. The preview will be, yes.
The preview will be a black and white book.
The main book is going to be in color.
Ali is in the chat. She says she has a story in this. Is it sort of like an anthology, or is there sort of supplemental stories?
Well, what we're going to have is that in the main campaign, the actual, for the full book, it's going to be between 70 and 86 pages, depending on where we land. And there's going to be an additional bonus, bonus supplemental if you want to purchase it. That's going to be a book called Scars that is about this character, Joe, who's the titular character, and how he got his various traumas, and that's kind of the theme. And in that book, you've got Ali as a writer, Irene illustrating her. The next story is Phil writing, and Charlie Snowgan's illustrating him. The next one is Quiet Red Media, who's in the chat, with Christian Rossi illustrating him. And then the last one so far, for the book, is Ink Spots and Bascom doing one. I just got their script last night. And yes,
Damn,
she also designed this page for me. Thank you, Allie.
a lot of names on here. We got Jose Garcia in here saying this is some rad art. I thought you might like this. Let's see, this one
Hence the
here
long
specifically looks more like
resume that we have there.
You do indeed. All right, so what is Meathead? Is this Meathead? Is Meathead the dude?
Yeah, so what Meathead is the name of a group of the story takes place from 1968, from 1950s actually till 1980, and over the 3 books, because it's going to be 3 total books, you're going to get this story that spans that giant gap of time from this character's childhood through Vietnam to the 1980s, where the story begins and concludes. And the idea here is that the Meatheads were actually a government. I wouldn't say engineer. They weren't like Captain America. They were. Think of it as like MK Ultra, Phoenix program, mind control technology, terror troops. You'd want to put it this way. And they were unleashed on the Vietnamese during the war as these kind of iron warriors. These again, terror troops. And Joe is the last of them. They were all ambushed and killed, just like Rogue Trooper, as Aldous pointed out. It's kind of like Rogue Trooper, the 2080 story. He's the last of them. And
Or a bit like First Blood.
Yeah,
which
but
you watched the other day.
This has got a lot of that in there. There's a lot of Deer Hunter, Apocalypse Now, First Blood, a bunch of that in there. But what happens to old Joe here is when his unit is wiped out, his commanding officer gives him a final order, which is kill them all, and then he dies, and he can't stop because of that mind lock he has. So from 1968 to when the story starts in the 1980s, he's still fighting the war. And that's where we begin.
And is it, you mentioned like, kind of psychological things in it. Is it I mean, I'm seeing like, he looks kind of like the way he's being drawn here, it's kind of like there's some pretty crazy stuff. Is it like fantastical?
No, because I mean, if you're going to be in that war, in that jungle, being injured like that for, like I said, he's fighting a war for damn near 20 years. You're going to carry the scars with you. Hence the supplemental book.
Like
Scars.
Psychological more.
Yeah, and this creature you're seeing here, that's more in book 2, and that is, I'll give you a little preview. That is what we call the Deer Woman, and Joe is a Native American man. He's the last of his tribe. He's an orphan. He lost his grandfather and father, and he has this personal demon that torments the men of his family that he sees in Vietnam. So this may be real, maybe not, what he's looking at.
Yeah. That's got me even more intrigued now. Like this cover here.
And the character, if you scroll up, so you could see that Krager put all these fun details in the cover there, where you see the Colonel's scarecrow back there. He, skinned off his face, and he kind of likes to carry it around with him to report to, like Wilson and Castaway.
Nice.
Ali
says based on true events.
I mean, if you want to go read things like Program to Kill and stuff like that, maybe not. So you can always read about Tavistock. You can always read about MK Ultra. You can always read about the Phoenix program. Here, though, if you scroll up, Mr. Bancroft, that character that's floating above it, that is our villain. And his name is Yan Wang. He is the Lord of all Asia, of all the vice in Asia, and he is Joe's nemesis in the book.
All right.
This satanic character that rules scum, that does the New World Order's bidding in that part of the world.
Scum, is that the New World Order group?
Well, I mean, they are. Put it this way: I'll show you if you guys want to see some pages. I'll show you some pages.
Yeah, absolutely, we do. We're big fans of Krager's art here.
All right, so Krager sent over the first page. It's not entirely finished, but he insisted I show you guys. So to give you an idea, I'm so sorry, guys, for the noise.
Did you? Is this a story you'd sort of developed previously, or did you do this kind of with Jason in mind?
No, I mean, it's if you I'll share this and I'll tell the story how it came to be because it is
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
funny. So
Thank
here
you so
is
much.
the first page, and this will
All
be in the
right.
preview book.
Hang on a sec. Hang on. This needs a proper introduction here. There we go. Yeah, dude. If you're gonna use him, yeah, like Jungles and Rain is just perfect. Like he has that on lockdown, and I love uses these really blocked out shadows and everything. That's awesome. All right, so what do we got going on here?
So here you've got this. This is the 1980s. You've got this Vietnamese villa in the background, and for to be not concise, but to be vague, there's a meeting of let's say a globalist meeting happening at this villa, for lack of a easier label. And there's two characters in that doorway that haven't been put in, and it's a character called Klaus and Staros having a conversation, and they're having a meeting with Chinese generals and Vietnamese officials and a member of the CIA. And this is about the time when the Soviet Union's about to go down. So they're wondering, what are we going to do with the Eurasian landmass now that the Soviet Union's about to collapse?
Tango Solo asks, did Jason do all these traditionally?
Yes, he did. And this art on the main campaign will be available. Guys, again, I'm sorry for the yelling. If it's annoying, I apologize.
It's all good. We all understand. Ali says, and the style that Reni's doing for the one she wrote is going to be more of an old sci-fi style as opposed to fiendish. Oh, they're cool.
Yeah, she's going to do a style for her story that hasn't been seen yet out of her. So,
it's like the children go to bed. 2-year-olds go to bed when they want to, kind of.
I know. I'm a single dad. It's only me, guys.
It's all right. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. That is very cool. I really dig it just in black and white, but I do want to see it, what you guys eventually do with color as well.
And so here, Joe is essentially starting on the outside, and he's taken out of the guards and kind of working his way inside.
Popping eyeballs.
Yep. In the subsequent pages, he's taken out all the guards and moving inward. So
Mo says, we used to hear a crying baby on the art chair, at least when Rob bothers to show up. Yeah, so we're fine with it here. We know exactly what's going on. Go back.
I have another one for you. That's he insists that I show this one even though he's not done.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. We'll show this one. Come on, stop screen. Oh, there we go. This is after all the carnage has gone through, and So you want to show that one? Let me go check on the baby real quick.
Yeah. You show that one. All right. What are we looking at here? So I'm guessing that's Meathead walking through the rain. And yeah, it's pretty rad. I dig it. It reminds me a little bit of what we were seeing for Blaster Kid back in the day with these heavy blacks, and really cool. Very nice. Do you want to give us a little rundown on what's happening here?
So this would be the end of the sequence, really. In between this and the first page you just saw, there was a lot of violence, and Joe essentially crashed this meeting of, again, what are we going to do with the Soviet Union? Because as we know, when the Soviet Union fell, Yeltsin was put in, and essentially he was supposed to just open up the Russian market for outside interests to buy up Soviet industry for nothing. And so the idea here is that this is the meeting to decide that. And the bad guy, Yan Wang, his job is to pump as much vice into the Soviet Union as possible, to soften it up as it's crumbling. So they're waiting for him to show up, and between that meeting, he comes in and kills everybody in the most brutal way possible. And as you can see, he's got a couple of their faces strapped to his hips.
I didn't notice that.
And so panel 1 is a hind coming in, which is Yan Wang's taxi throughout Vietnam. So he's arriving at the meeting. He's late.
Mhm.
And then the next panel would be a close-up of those bouncing faces on his hip. And so he's walking away from the scene of the crime. Hind's coming in, and then we introduce our villain, who shows up to a carnal house, basically. The carnal house, you know what I mean? So, and there's the artist himself.
There's the artist himself. What's up, Jason? Great to see you. We're just enjoying your art here. It's beautiful as always, and as I was saying earlier, just perfectly, seemingly perfectly aligned for this kind of story.
What's the Russian gunship doing there? Because Yan Wang likes it as a piece of hardware to ferry him around. Plus, it's not like it would be difficult to procure such a thing. Eastern Bloc.
Man, it sounds like you've done a lot of research into this one. Thank you guys so much. We'll show the color piece I did.
So this is going to be a T-shirt on the preview book campaign, which is stop screen, which is going to be.
This is the villain.
Yeah, the villain here. This is going to be what you could get as a T-shirt for the preview book campaign. So
what's he got there on his things there? Is that a mask?
Yes. And I don't want to say too much of who he is, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys.
Fair enough. Yeah,
but,
cool.
I mean, what can I say? I guess I'll say this. The idea with him is 006. Put it that way. If you know what I'm talking about.
Jake wants to know if it's an all-over print shirt. Hopefully not, Jake. Hopefully not.
This is going. We're just going to do a.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rectangle in the center. And what's cool about this is that Rob Willis is doing a shirt of Joe with the tiger helmet on his head. That's going to be for the main campaign. So if you get this shirt, you'll have both of them on the two different campaigns.
Can I share that Rob Willis art that you have on your Twitter page?
Of course, go for it. Rob's a good friend, and he did this for me very graciously. That's going to be the cover of the main campaign.
Because this is crazy. And I got it here. All right, check this out. We do love a bit of Rob Willis artwork here on this channel. Let's see. Let's zoom in here.
There he is.
Absolutely crushed it, as he always does. So he must have done this a while ago for you. This was last year you posted this.
Yep, but he was working on it for a good while. I mean, he was pretty slammed, but I think it was well worth the wait.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
God, he did everything I've seen that you've posted for this this book looks nuts.
And I just want to reiterate something, Mr. Bancroft, that again, a big chunk of this book is finished, right? We're about half, I'd say more than a third done with the first book. So all we're doing with the preview campaign is trying to accelerate, because if I'm doing it myself, it might take a little while longer, not quite a bit longer to complete the first book. So, hey, we've got a proof of concept and we're doing special things for the preview campaign. So for example, there's going to be 2 tiers. There's going to be a cheaper, maybe $20, $25. If you want to support the book, you're going to get a really cool cover from an artist I can't talk about yet because he hasn't said a hard yes yet. That'll get you the book. And then we're going to do a premium tier, which would be $50, $55. It's going to be a metal book, like a front to back, metal. And that's going to have an exclusive
metal story, metal book.
Metal book, a black metal cover. So that's going to be like if you really want to help and you want a really cool collectible, you're going to see this. You're going to have a chance to buy that, and it'll have this exclusive Frege cover on it. And when I do exclusive covers, you'll never see it again. So this Rob Willis cover, when we do the main campaign, that's it. If you buy it there, you're only getting it there. Because I believe in if you support, you should have something special wherever you go.
Absolutely. Death Metal Hero says, I approve. He's giving us the metal horns. Yeah, man, it sounds pretty crazy what you guys are cooking up here. And again, look, check out this list, all these names on this list, all ass kickers. So, yeah, this is Joe after killing a tiger with his bare hands. All right.
Mikra, he said how much was the metal ones? They're probably going to be 50 to 55, and they will be very limited. But that's a premium version. If you want it, and you really want a cool collectible, that'll be the one. But if you just want to check it out, I'll have a affordable option. You know, it won't kill you to get.
Mo has a tagline for your upcoming campaign. The campaign is like Rob Arnold putting on a brave face when his mum left him at the mall. 2 tears.
Thank you, Mr. Biggs. I appreciate it.
We got Dean in the house. A lot of professionals who do some great books, and Rob Willis on that list. Oof. Well, he's done a lot of good covers.
And I guess this is a good time to kind of explain to an audience that doesn't really know me. I mean, there's a lot of my friends here, but a lot of your audience that may not know who I am.
Yeah, let's get to know you a little.
Yeah, just take a minute. That I've been in and around comics and the industry since I was about 12. And you guys have probably seen me around Frege a lot. I worked on Black Flag with him, and also I stream with him, and we seem to always be around each other. And that's because I really wanted to get into comics when I was about 12, and I would read a lot of the. Remember when comics had letter sections? I picked up Bloodstrike 25, and in the back there was somebody asking if they could get a tour of Extreme Studios, and they responded, "Oh yeah, give us a call and we'll do that." And I said, "That's a good idea. I'm going to try that." So I got the phone book out. I looked up Image Comics Extreme Studios. Yep, I did. Next to Shelby.
For real?
Yeah, I did.
Did you like hit his feet?
Yeah, way back in the Extreme days. And I called them. I asked for a tour. I made my poor mother drive me an hour to Orange County.
That's a good mother.
Indeed. And we walked around, got to see the entire operation. And in the way back, we walked by Frege's office. He had like this office way in the back behind Extreme Color. And as usual, Frege's always gracious and nice and inviting. And as we were leaving, he's like, hold on. And he gave me a piece of original art and made the fatal error of saying, go ahead and call me whenever you feel like it. And that was his undoing.
And you've been fast friends ever since.
And so from then on, he asked me to be his intern. And for about 3 summers, from when I was about 12 to 13, my poor mother, yet again, would drive 45 minutes to an hour one way to drop me off at Extreme Studios so I could work there all day and then drive and get me again. So 4 trips.
She knew you meant business. So you were just being like an intern, just kind of helping out in the office, whatever needed doing.
Yes, I was just a gopher, vacuuming, watching how the sausage was made, so to speak.
Yeah.
And man, I learned a lot, and I was around those rock stars. I was around Rob Liefeld. I was around, Tom McFarlane came in a few times. Stephen Platt. I got to see
cool.
it.
Go for this. Go for that.
One moment.
Yeah, no worries. Heating up Shelby's ramen. Yep, in the microwave. Yeah, now it does sound cool. I would have loved that as well when I was 12. I wonder if we're about the same age. Probably, although, yeah. In Australia, I kind of gave up on the idea of making comics at around about 14 because it didn't seem like there was any possibility. There was no scene here. There was no internet. We didn't even envision that all of this could happen. It wasn't a thing. So I put that dream on the shelf for about 30 years or so. Bancroft is not a fan of a loose collection of theme stories, hence his scathing review of A Christmas Story. I didn't get through it, Mo.
So
Jay says, I heat up the ramen Shelby sends me in the mail. Oh, there you go. Yeah, did you ever heat up Shelby's ramen noodles?
No, I didn't have to debase myself that way.
Dwight says
Not
he's
at
happy
all.
to see military-based comics. That's
Yeah.
good. And Jake wants to know: is it a collection of stories, or is there an arc of some kind?
No. Now this may be confusing. The main book is one story arc, one complete story across 3 books. Okay.
Yep.
The supplemental is what Jake is just talking about, which is
Right. Yeah. Extra
anthology.
Yeah.
Mainly because I just want to work with my friends and people I like, and
I hear
people
ya.
I think are badass.
I hear you. I'm doing the same thing with Rod Looper in my story and loving it as well. It is a lot of work though.
So no, it's been fun, and I've got a head start on that as well. Scripts have come in, art is being worked on. So yet again, we're just doing this preview book to raise funds, and you get something. It's not like you're going to wait for it. By the time we're ready to launch it, I've got it together, and we can just print and get you guys a preview.
I think it's a fun idea. It's a little like, where a lot of us are collectors. You get this exclusive thing. We've seen Adam Lawson do it, Phil Diaz, Juan Klaus, a bunch of others do this now. And Buzz did it. Edwin did it for Bloodbone. Yeah, it's a cool, fun way to kind of build the buzz and also, get something out there and in people's hands. Because the hope is that they read the preview. They want the whole thing. So, and this certainly does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the link is in the chat.
And again,
for anyone who wants to go sign up to the mailing list.
My philosophy here is I want to get you something for that commitment.
Yeah, I like it. I like the sound of it. I'm gonna let you go. Well, it sounds like you have your hands full. Where can people find you?
So you can get me right here. This is my Twitter handle as well as my Instagram handle. I always post updates to there. But from now that we're doing the mailing list, I'm going to give you guys exclusive to the mailing list before I post on social media. So now I got a direct line to you guys.
Excellent. And also, I know that Jason has a YouTube channel where he does regular art and stuff like that, I think. And then you hang out on Frager's channel?
Yeah, and speaking of what,
you don't have a YouTube channel?
Jasper Plan 9 just said, "What's the status of Black Flag?" Well, Frager's now streaming every morning, and he gives pretty much an update every morning on what he's doing. So check in there, and I know he's planning a huge update.
Cool. There you go. All right, everyone. There it is. I do want to do one final check on the on my auction piece that I have. We'll see if there's been any movement there. It was sitting on 99 cents. Let's have a look. Oh, ha! Suck it, Rob. Hang on a sec. I gotta actually show the thing. Where is it? Present. And Rob said, "No one's gonna want a picture of a tree." Someone does. You never know. There we go. I don't know what that is in US dollars. Probably what, like 110 or something. But there you go. Thank you very much to whoever has bid on this piece here of Artemis sitting under his tree. Thank you very much. Suck it, Rob. You're still alive. Thank you, everyone. Jay misses the tree, so there you go. Go sign up to Meathead. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. There's a crazy level of talent attached to this. I hope you get a ton of signups there, Will. And we'll see you around out and about. And please do come back when it's live, and we can help sell some books.
Yeah, we're ready to go. We will do another one of these and launch it into the ether. And
is there a date? Is there a date planned for
Q3? Let's say Q3.
Okay.
Oh, Q2. Q2.
Plenty of time. All right. Q2. Cool. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. I think tomorrow we're doing the closeout of Reaper Destroyer. It's done. It's gonna be unavailable. So I hope you've got your copy. I got mine. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right. Good night, everyone.
I made an Australian video and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.